Okay, this hat is everyone's favorite Vasily Fisk's hat, and we're going to see what's new that we can tell you about Vasily Fisk and Andrew Chernyenko. His, well, originally they were partners in this metaphysical detective business based on Carnaby Street. Just down the road from where Stuart Wilde, the metaphysical writer that I talk about, where Stuart Wilde had a jeans shop. And it's not too far from the Dog and Duck English pub that Stuart Wilde used to frequent, and he did a report from there. So anyway, what else do we want to talk to you about? Well, Stuart Wilde has still a lot of articles on his website, stuartwilde.com. And I was reading one this morning, which was his story of who the Jack the Ripper was. And he said it was Freemasons who were operating on behalf of the monarch, who was trying to deal with an idiot son that she had, who was off screwing around with Irish hookers and having babies out of wedlock when he was supposed to be like the heir to the throne. So it was publicly announced, according to Stuart Wilde's story, it was publicly announced that this particular prince had died and was never seen again. He was hidden away in Glamis Castle, wherever that is, by probably some relative of the Queen's. So the story was that the Jack the Ripper's apparently was like a lot of like horrible gore. They cut these bodies up, and well, according to Stuart Wilde, it was Masonic symbology. So Mr. Wilde is implying that the Freemasons are in service to the British monarchy. He also mentioned that the Illuminati founder, Adam Weishaupt, was also related to this thing. He brought in Aleister Crowley, the magician. He brought in Princess Diana, and what else did he talk about in this article? Well, that was quite a good article, and anyway, we have to get back to Vasily Fisk. So if we were going to do a metaphysical detective story on all the connections that Stuart Wilde put together, my only thing that I would say is, how did he know this? I would say it was given to him. Given to him how? Well, he was an author and he needed a story. Is it the true story? Well, I don't think we'll ever know. But Mr. Wilde gave it to us because he wanted us to remember that all of the things that are supposed to be just bizarrities are all related to one another. So if you study anomalies, unusual events, and you don't accept the mainstream narrative for what's going on, instead you go looking as a detective and you figure it out yourself. Okay, so anyway, I don't know anything about Vasily, and Andrew Chernyenko is getting involved with a big-time operator. He apparently has met someone who is never-ending in their praise for us here at this channel, Infinite Bob 99. And so Andrew wants us to all know that even though he hasn't been reported on lately, he still is interested in our channel, and he's still not interested in talking to Vasily Fisk because Andrew says Vasily pissed him off. The details are, Vasily really gets in my face way too much. Like, he's always like, he's got this tickler file where he keeps calling me, like he calls me for like before breakfast. And I'm like, for Christ's sake, Vasily, I'm not in the mood to talk to you. right now. And he basically said he is not going to talk to Vasily. He's not going to accept emails or calls from Vasily. In fact, he figures that their partnership will be resumed once Vasily gets the message and changes his behavior. Vasily doesn't want me to be the go-between, because then he says that Andrew really won't understand, because he's getting it from too many translations into him from, me. And so he says, but if you're going to try, just say, I can't help you right now, so I'm not going to contact you. But thank you for letting me know that we're still, and they want to know, like, are they supposed, anyway, now that's the problem. You become a go-between between two different personalities, and the next thing you know, like, your Bell telephone or something, and I don't want to do that. In any event, that's what's up. And as far as Stuart Wilde, his messages from beyond, wherever he went, because, he no longer posts, and his protege said that he was dead. So where is Stuart Wilde now? If I was able to channel Stuart Wilde, he won't channel. He's not even there to channel. And any signs that Mr. Wilde is still around? Well, it did come up this morning, Mr. Wilde, so it was asked and it was given that we looked at Mr. Wilde for a few things. And we're specifically looking at another story, and it has to do with, well, there's on and on. There's all kinds of interesting stories about Stuart Wilde's what he would call visions. He'd write his visions down. And he said if you have a vision or something, if you're like him, it's a good idea to jot it down. Stuart Wilde says, jot it down. Thank you for watching, and I'm going to reverse the hat, and then we're going to talk about something new. What I'm going to talk about new is basically